Good evening and welcome to Poland Daily. I'm Nicholas Richardson and this is the news. The 76th anniversary of the liberation of the Auschwitz-Birkenau concentration camp was celebrated only virtually this year. On this occasion, the fate of 200,000 children, the vast majority of them Jewish, who were murdered by the German Nazis was particularly remembered. The ceremony was opened by President Andrzej Duda.
Zbrodnie popełnione w niemieckich obozach koncentracyjnych.
The crimes committed in the German concentration and extermination camps were real. Real people suffered unimaginable but genuine pain, and they really died. In reality, they were murdered. The suffering and the death of the victims were, are, and will remain real. It is our obligation to preserve all material evidence, memorabilia, and signs of their existence. Their life and martyrdom to make sure that humanity never forgets about them, to ensure that what happened here at Auschwitz and at the other sites of German crimes will never be forgotten.
I w innych miejscach niemieckich zbrodni.
Today is also International Holocaust Remembrance Day, which was established by the United Nations in 2005, the date chosen to mark the anniversary of the liberation of the Auschwitz-Birkenau concentration camp.
The participants in the ceremony could appear in person only at the Monument to the Heroes in Warsaw. The Auschwitz Museum, which becomes a world centre of memory for the victims of the Holocaust every year, had to organise an online presentation. Those were terrible times. Such tragedies have happened, and they are simply unimaginable. You must remember. You must not forget, so that it does not happen again. Every year, together with the city, we organise exhibitions so that Warsawians know that we remember and also have the opportunity to pay tribute to the victims. The International Holocaust Remembrance Day was adopted by the United Nations General Assembly on the 1st of November 2005. The date of the commemorations was selected as January the 27th, the anniversary of the liberation of the Auschwitz-Birkenau camp in 1945 by the Soviet Army. 76 years ago, the gates of hell finally opened. The Red Army liberated the Auschwitz-Birkenau camp, the centrepiece of the German plan for the final solution of the Jewish question. Initially, the camp had been established to house Polish prisoners. The transports were composed of Poles, Polish youth and the intelligentsia in general, those who tried to escape occupied Poland for the Polish army in France. The first transport of prisoners departed from Tarnów in June 1940. One of the prisoners went there voluntarily, Polish cavalry captain Witold Pilecki, who went to investigate the German crimes. After his escape, he wrote a report that Polish government presented to the Allies. The document was neglected, so was the pressure to bomb the railway lines leading to the camp. Another famous prisoner is Saint Maximilian Maria Kolbe, who voluntarily gave his life for one of his fellow prisoners. In 1942, Germany decided to wipe the Jews from Europe. They called this mass murder solving the Jewish question.
Masowe przywożenie Żydów, masowa zagłada Żydów.
Mass deportation of Jews and the extermination on an industrial scale actually began in 1942 after the decision of Endlösung, the final solution.
Masowym Endlösung, prawda, ostatecznym rozwiązaniu.
The murder spree reached its apogee in May and June 1944 when about 400,000 Jews from Hungary were gassed and then burnt in the ovens. Nearly 1,100,000 Jews and about 150,000 Poles were deported to the Auschwitz camp. In the camp, there were nearly over 20 nationalities. Today, the Holocaust is considered one of the greatest crimes in history. The commemorations of the 16th International Holocaust Remembrance Day are held online. Only in Warsaw, at the Monument to the Heroes of the Ghetto, were prayers said together, candles lit and wreaths laid.
3 months after its judgment was issued, the Constitutional Tribunal has now published the justification for its decision of the admissibility of abortion under the Constitution. In October, the tribunal ruled that abortion for eugenic reasons is inconsistent with the Polish Constitution. This decision sparked mass protests on the streets of Warsaw and other cities.
199 deputies to the Sejm applied to the Constitutional Tribunal to check whether the provisions of the so-called anti-abortion law of 1993 were in keeping with the Constitution. These allow abortion in the event of a severe and irreversible disability of the fetus or an incurable disease that threatens its life. The tribunal decided that they were not, because the Constitution guarantees everyone the right to life. The existing law still allows the possibility of termination of pregnancy if it poses a threat to the life and health of the mother, or when there is a justified suspicion that the pregnancy is the result of a prohibitive act, for example, rape.
And now we present today's coronavirus data released by the Ministry of Health.
In the last 24 hours, 6,789 new cases were detected. The greatest number of infections occurred in the following voivodeships: Mazowieckie, Wielkopolskie and Pomorskie. 389 people died, including 97 due to COVID, and 292 due to the coexistence of this disease with other diseases. The Ministry announced that over 47,000 tests had been performed. To date, 905,457 doses of the coronavirus vaccine have been administered.
The Czech Republic is one of the largest customers for Polish food. Will these exports be maintained after the entry into force of a new law which stipulates that 55% of the food in large area stores should be of domestic production? In 6 years, this percentage is to be increased to 73%. Polish exporters of food products stand to lose much from this new law.
Polska ma na tyle konkurencyjną żywność, co...
Polish food is of excellent quality and very competitively priced. This was already visible in 2004 when we beat subsidised food from the European Union, not only thanks to low prices, but also thanks to quality. This is why other countries, violating the European treaties, are trying to limit imports from our country. Rather, it would be a permanent policy of many of our neighbours. Each action of our neighbours to limit imports in Poland will force our producers to look for markets outside the European Union. For years, the European Union market has been shrinking and, additionally, the actions of the Czech Republic that have been undertaken for years will make this market closed to Polish products.
That's the news. Thank you for watching. Stay with us for the weather, Poland Daily Business and more programmes. But from me, it's have a good night and a better tomorrow.